Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna devotees, Dhammat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol to Pawan Prabhuji, Vishwanath Prabhu, Vishwanath Meenakshi Muni are leading the chanting this morning. Okay, let's start with Mangalacharan. There may be Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshitarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. Okay, so today, last week we sang a wonderful prayer called Gita Mahatmya, glorifying the significance of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that we can have, if we need to have just one thing in the world, can be just one scripture as Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one Lord Shri Krishna, and one prayer is the chanting of the holy name. So continuing that theme of the holy name, and also as the primary message or the final message, as we are also reading Prabhupada Lilamrit, the final lesson, the final message that Lord Shri Krishna gives to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita is to completely surrender, Sharanagati. So on that theme of the final message, and we can also say, yesterday in a call we were discussing Sripad Ainda Prabhu, who started the 24-hour Kirtan in Vrindavan up to Srila Prabhupada, which is even continuing even today, signifies, even if you look at our movement, the only thing that Prabhupada gave us all was to chant the holy names. That is the only vow that we take during initiation in terms of the do's. There are 4 other don'ts that we do, but the do's is really chanting the holy name. And Prabhupada is also teaching that as he is giving his final lesson in Prabhupada Lilamrit, where he himself is just sustaining himself on the power of the holy name. So on that theme, let's continue this prayer this week, which is Kevalashtakam, glorifying the holy name. So I posted the link in the chat. Let me also share the screen. I do have an update. Looks like that is running on my laptop. So in case it gets disconnected, I'll continue from the phone. Okay. So this is Kevalashtakam by Sri Nilakanta Goswami. Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam pavanam pavanebhyopi hare namaiva kevalam abrahmastambhaparyantam sarvam mayamayam jagat satyam satyam pura satyam harir namaiva kevalam saguru sapita chapi samata bandhavo pisaha shikshaye chet sada smartum harir namaiva kevalam निश्वासेन हि विश्वासः कदा रुद्धो भविष्यति कीर्तनीयमतो बाल्यात् हरिर्नामैव केवलम् हरि सदा वसेत् तत्र यत्र भागवता जनाः गायन्ति भक्तिभावेन हरिर्नामैव केवलम् अहो दुःखं महादुःखम् दुःखात् दुःखतरं यतः काचर्तं विस्मृतं रत्न हरिर्नामैव केवलम् दीयतां दीयतां कर्णो नीयतां नीयतां वचः गीयतां गीयतां नित्यं हरेर्नामैव नाम एव केवलम् त्रीणीकृत्य जगत् सर्वम् राजते सकलोपरि चिदानन्दमयं शुद्धम् हरेर्नाम एव केवलम् हरेर्नाम एव केवलम् हरेर्नाम एव केवलम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री केवलाष्टकम की जय। श्री नीलकंठ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, anybody would like to read the translation of this beautiful prayer?
I would love to, Prabhu. Thank you for singing so beautifully. It was so
Hare
amazing.
Krishna. Thank you, Anandi Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you. More sweet than all other sweet things, more auspicious than all other auspicious things, the greatest purifier of all purifying things, the holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. The entire universe, from exalted Brahma down to the lowly clump of grass, is a product of the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. The only thing that is reality, reality, again I say reality, the holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. That person is a true preceptor, or a true father, a true mother, and a true friend also only if they teach one to always remember. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. There is no certainty when the last breath will come and put an abrupt halt to all of one's material plans. Therefore, it is wise to always practice chanting from very childhood. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. Lord Hari eternally dwells in that place where truly exalted, spiritually advanced souls sing in the mood of pure devotion. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. Aho, what a sorrow, what a great sorrow, more painful than any other misery.
Mataji, it's like you're on mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Prabhu.
Anandini Gopika Mataji.
Yes, sorry, Prabhu. I think I got muted. So should I start from sixth?
Yes, sixth Mataji.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. Oh, what a sorrow, what a great sorrow, more painful than any other misery in the world. Mistaking it as a mere piece of glass, the people have forgotten this jewel. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. It should be heard again and again with one's ears. It should be uttered over and over with one's voice. It should be perpetually sung and sung anew. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. It makes the entire universe seem insignificant as a blade of grass. It reigns supreme over all in a splendorous manner. It is full of eternally conscious divine ecstasy. It is supremely pure. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Anandini Gopika Mataji. Yes, and thank you for the inspiration to sing this. I was talking to Meenakshi Mani last night and I was thinking of doing Sharanagati, but she suggested that you were talking and we have not done this prayer, so that inspired us to do this morning. Thank you so much. Okay, so this prayer, as we said, this is composed by Sri Nilakanta Goswami. It's actually part of, it's called, like we say, Ashtakam. Ashtakam is compilation of 8 verses, like that. Dashakam is 10 verses, right? Like that. This is actually part of a prayer that he composed, which is actually Shatakam, which is 100 verses. So out of that, these 8 have been compiled into this Ashtakam, Keval Ashtakam. So it's beautiful. And yeah, like I was saying with Sripad Indra Prabhu, so one thing, as we are also reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and this is wonderful. This is the last month of the year. This is the final month We are doing the final lesson that Srila Prabhupada is teaching us through his Prabhupada Leelamrit. And also, like we said in Bhagavad Gita, this is the final lesson of Sharanagati. And Sri Padayendra Prabhu very nicely, all the Bhagavad Gita shlokas, primarily the key ones like the Sharanagati, the surrender shlok, which is the final verse of the final instruction that Krishna gives, right? Sarvadharman Parityajya, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So, Ayendra Prabhu very nicely, he would replace all the Mam with the Nam. So he said, Nam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, right? So, Nam Namaskuru, Nam Eva Shisha Satyam Te, because Krishna says that I and my holy name are not different. So, wherever, there was Mam in Bhagavad Gita, Sripad Prabhu would replace them with Nam because he had that sweet taste for the sweeter than the sweetest holy name. And that's why he started the 24-hour Kirtan, which is even continuing to this day. So like that. So we can always think of Krishna when you think of Krishna and his holy name are non-different. So instead of saying Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, we can also do Nam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So if we take the holy shelter of the holy name, then that will take us through this world as Srila Prabhupada is also teaching in Prabhupada Leelamrit. So let's continue. The final lesson, chapter 55 that we are on. Prabhupada was saying that at the end he was staying alert while he was on his performing his last pastimes on the earthly planet, and he was himself absorbed completely in Kirtan and Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's continue from here. But it became obvious to his disciples that despite his promise, he was again moving inevitably towards giving the final lesson. He was teaching that love was beyond death, that a disciple's love could call the spiritual master back to the world to stay, and that a pure devotee has the ability to stay in the world beyond his allotted time. Meanwhile, however, he was progressing steadily to the final point. The devotees didn't feel angry with him or cheated that he was doing so. He had told them that he had free will given by Krishna, and they also, by their free will, had asked him to stay, and he had agreed. But they knew he was not obliged. If, despite their prayers, Lord Krishna was telling Srila Prabhupada that he should come back home to Godhead, what could they do but accept? If Srila Prabhupada was accepting, then they would accept also. Nothing, however, could change the fact of their surrendered love. It had now become a solid pact that could not be vanquished by any material changes. They had passed the test of eternal loving service, and that could not be taken away by death. Up until the end, there were interludes of sweetness as well as displays of Prabhupada's indomitable mood of fighting for Krishna. One day, Srila Prabhupada's sister, Pishima, arrived unexpectedly, and Prabhupada asked her to cook khichdi. At that time, Kirtananda was trying to put Prabhupada on the road to recovery by gradually increasing his liquids, and Kirtananda Maharaj and the other devotees opposed the idea of his suddenly eating solid foods. But Srila Prabhupada insisted, it doesn't matter whether what she cooks does good to me or bad, said Srila Prabhupada. She is a Vaishnavi. It will be good for me. He then began speaking in an extremely humble way. Probably I became a little puffed up because of my opulence and success, he said. Now God has shattered that pride. If you don't have your body, what is there to be puffed up about? Bhakti Charu Swami protested, Srila Prabhupada, whatever you have done for Krishna. That may be, but in this world, unknowingly you commit offenses. When Pishima heard this, she exclaimed, no, no, he never committed any offense. You cannot ever commit offenses, said Bhakti Charu Maharaj. You are God's very dear one. How can you commit offenses? I'm a little temperamental, said Srila Prabhupada. I used to use words like rascal and so on. I never compromised. They used to call it a club in one hand and a Bhagavatam in the other. That is how I preach. Anyway, make arrangements for my sister. There were also visits from Srila Prabhupada's god brothers, and again Prabhupada asked forgiveness for his offenses. One time, Nishkinchana Krishnadas Babaji, Puri Maharaj, Ashrama Maharaj, Ananda Prabhu, Purushottam Brahmachari, and about 20 others came and sat next to Prabhupada's bed. He was resting when they arrived, and they joined the Kirtan until he awoke. When he saw them, he asked to be raised up. Sitting in the center of his bed, with his god brothers all around, he addressed them. All over the world, there is a beautiful field to preach Krishna consciousness, he said. I didn't care whether I would be successful or not. People are willing to take. They are all taking also. If we preach together, the saying of Mahaprabhu, Prithvite, will come true. We have experienced everything. Spread the holy name and distribute prasadam. There is a beautiful field. in Africa, in Russia, everywhere they are accepting. When Prabhupada began asking his god brothers to forgive him, they protested. You are the eternal leader, one of them asserted. You rule over us, guide us, and chastise us. Forgive all my offenses, Prabhupada repeated. I became proud of all my opulence. No, said Puri Maharaj, you never became proud. When you started preaching, opulence and success followed you. That was the blessing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Krishna. There cannot be any question of your being offensive. When Srila Prabhupada presented himself as Mahapatita, greatly fallen, Puri Maharaj did not accept it. You have saved millions of people around the world, he said. Therefore, there is no question of offenses, but you should be called Mahapatita Pavan, the great savior of the fallen. Prabhupada's disciples regarded Prabhupada's asking for his godbrother's forgiveness as a manifestation of his humility. But they were also puzzled. Certainly, Prabhupada's godbrothers were sincere in saying Prabhupada had committed no offense. Whatever he had done for Sri Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada was also sincere in asking for forgiveness. That was the beautiful gem of his humility, to ask everyone for forgiveness. For the purpose of preaching, displaying this gem had not always been the most effective way to spread the merciful teachings of Lord Krishna in every town and village. But now it could be displayed. In London and now in Vrindavan, Prabhupada was showing his disciples extra affection and gratitude without the reprimands usually necessary in training disciples. This attitude of complete humility was a symptom of the highest stage of devotional life. Srila Prabhupada had explained in his books that the Madhyam Adhikari, the second class devotee, makes distinctions between the devotees, the innocent devotees, and the demons. Whereas the Mahabhagavat or first class devotee sees everyone except himself as a servant of God. Sometimes, however, the Mahabhagavat desires to come down from the first class platform to the second class platform just to take up the most compassionate service of preaching Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada's disciples had all read of the Mahabhagavat stage in the scriptures, and now they were seeing it fully displayed, as Prabhupada referred to himself as the most fallen and asked for everyone's forgiveness. Srila Prabhupada had heard of the program of his disciple Lokanath Swami Maharaj, who was taking a small group of men on a bullock cart and preaching in villages throughout India. Lokanath had told Srila Prabhupada how, in the course of their travels, they had recently visited tirthas such as the Badrikashram and Bhim Kapur. Srila Prabhupada was enlivened to hear this, and he then evolved a transcendental desire to go himself on a cart pulled by bullocks to circumambulate the area of Vrindavan. Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bhavananda Maharaj, who were serving Prabhupada with increased intimacy, felt themselves unable to support Srila Prabhupada in his desire, since they thought his fragile body could not survive such rough treatment on the roads. But Srila Prabhupada reasoned that dying on parikrama is glorious, and he asked them to take him. A controversy developed among the devotees as some said Prabhupada's will to go on parikrama should be immediately honored as an order from the spiritual master. He wanted it and he should not be denied. The doctor, however, assured them that Srila Prabhupada's body would not survive the jostling of the cart. The many devotees who crowded around Srila Prabhupada's bed held different opinions, and Prabhupada could see this. Following his request, however, Loknath went out and hired a cart with bullocks and prepared it for the ride. Loknath and Hamsaduta suggested that the parikrama could go to the city of Vrindavan or visit the seven main temples of the Goswamis. But then they said that since the next day was Govardhan Puja, Prabhupada could go to Govardhan Hill. Tamal Krishna, Bhavananda, and Bhakti Charu, however, protested adamantly against the parikrama. One day experiment, Prabhupada said. It is for one day. Rest assured, I will not die in one day. He liked the idea of going to Govardhan. And we shall make our cooking there, he said. Loknath Swami, he assured them, was experienced. Make very good picnic, he said. After discussing back and forth, the devotees finally decided that early the next morning they would take Prabhupada in a bullock cart to Govardhan. The majority of the devotees then left Srila Prabhupada alone for the night. Later that night, Srila Prabhupada received a visit from Nishkinchana Krishnadas Babaji, who sat with Prabhupada, chanting and sometimes speaking in Bengali. Suddenly, Tamal Krishna and Bhavananda came to Prabhupada's bedside. They were in tears and beside themselves with anxiety. Prabhupada understood. You request me not to go? He asked. Well, Srila Prabhupada, said Tamal Krishna, I will tell you, I'm getting so upset sitting in the room upstairs. I was walking around. Two of the devotees told me that this road is so bad that if you go on this road, you're going to be jolted back and forth. The road is terrible. I just can't understand, Srila Prabhupada, why it has to be tomorrow that we have to go. If anybody wants you to travel, I do. But why do we have to go when you are in this condition? I can't understand it. Why are we throwing everything out the window that we must go tomorrow? I can't understand. All right, said Srila Prabhupada softly, immediately agreeing to their proposal that he not go. Jai Srila Prabhupada, said Bhakti Charu, who was also present. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, said Bhavananda Maharaj with great relief. All right, you are satisfied? Now I am, Srila Prabhupada, said Bhavananda. Yes, I was in too much anxiety. Never mind, I shall not put you in anxiety. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, said Tamal Krishna, we are so much attached to you that you practically drive us to madness sometimes. Tonight we were becoming mad. No, no, I shall not do that, said Prabhupada. Babaji Maharaj, Prabhupada turned to Nishkinchana Krishnadas Babaji and said, just see how much affection they have for me. Srila Prabhupada, said Tamal Krishna, the way you deal with us simply deepens our attachment every moment. It is my duty, said Prabhupada, and the devotees laughed warmly, understanding. Yes, they could understand that was his duty. By all his actions and dealings, Prabhupada's intention was to capture spirit souls and deliver them to Krishna. His method was loving service, but he did not do it for himself. He was delivering them to Krishna. That was his duty. On November 14, 1977, at 7:30 p.m., in his room at the Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada gave his final instruction by leaving this mortal world and going back to Godhead. Jai Srila Prabhupada. His departure was exemplary because his whole life was exemplary. His departure marked the completion of a lifetime of pure devotional service to Krishna. A few days before the end, Srila Prabhupada had said he was instructing as far as he could, and his secretary had added, You are the inspiration. Yes, Srila Prabhupada had replied, that I shall do anything until until the last breathing. Prabhupada's last breathing was glorious, not because of any last minute mystical demonstration, but because Srila Prabhupada remained in perfect Krishna consciousness. Like grandfather Bhishmadev, he remained completely collected and noble and grave, teaching until the end. He was preaching that life comes from life, not from matter. And he was showing that one should preach with every breath he has. The many devotees who crowded the large room bore witness that up to the very end, Prabhupada remained exactly the same. There was nothing suddenly incongruous with what he had previously shown and taught them. At the time of his departure, therefore, he was teaching how to die by always depending on Krishna. Prabhupada's passing away was peaceful. During the evening of November 14, the Kaviraj asked him, Is there anything you want? And Prabhupada replied faintly, Kuch ichha nahi. I have no desire. His passing away was in the perfect situation in Vrindavan with devotees. A few months previously, a young girl, the daughter of one of Prabhupada's disciples, had passed away in Vrindavan. And when Srila Prabhupada had been asked if she went back to Godhead to personally associate with Krishna, he had said, Yes, anyone who leaves his body in Vrindavan is liberated. Of course, Vrindavan also means the state of pure Krishna consciousness, as Advaita Acharya had said of Lord Chaitanya. Wherever you are is Vrindavan. And this was also true of Srila Prabhupada. Had Srila Prabhupada passed away in London, New York, or Moscow, therefore his destination would have been the same. As Lord Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, one who is always thinking of me, surely he attains to me. But because Vrindavan Dham is the quintessential realm of Krishna consciousness within the universe, the ideal place for departure from this world, so it was yet another exemplary feature of Srila Prabhupada's life that he went back to Godhead with Vrindavan as his last junction. Those Vaishnavas who had taken the vow never to risk leaving Vrindavan could see that Srila Prabhupada, after sacrificing everything, including the benefit of residing in Vrindavan, to deliver fallen souls in the most God-forsaken locations of the world, had returned to the holy land of Vrindavan, and from there had departed for the original abode of Lord Krishna in the spiritual sky. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Anyone who executes service in Vrindavan certainly goes back home, back to Godhead, after giving up his body. Srila Prabhupada's departure was also perfect because he was chanting and hearing the holy names of God. Thus, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present at Srila Prabhupada's passing, just as he was at the celebrated passing away of Bhishma Dev, who said, despite his being equally kind to everyone, he has graciously come before me while I am ending my life, for I am his unflinching servitor. As Lord Krishna came before Bhishma Dev, assuring him and everyone else that Bhishma was returning back to Godhead on leaving his body, so the Lord, in his incarnation of Nam Avatar, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, was present for Srila Prabhupada's departure. Srila Prabhupada's life had been dedicated to spreading the holy name to every town and village, and for a month he had been surrounding himself with the holy name. For his passing away, he especially wanted to fill the room with devotees chanting Hare Krishna, and Krishna fulfilled that wish. Srila Prabhupada therefore departed under the most favorable circumstances possible, in the most sacred place, Vrindavan, surrounded by Vaishnavas, chanting the holy name Hare Krishna. Okay, let's pause here for today. All this beautiful reflection and beautiful chanting of the holy name. So, again, so wonderful that we sang the Kevalashtakam, glorifying the holy name. And Prabhupada here is teaching us the final lesson of how to live and how to leave, the art of living and the art of leaving the body. And again, yeah, like we just read here, Krishna himself comes for his pure devotees, just as he was there in front of Bhishma Dev. Here he is there in the form of Nam Avatar, Kali Kali, Nam Rupa Krishna Avatar. So in this Kali Yuga that we are in, Krishna has come in the form of the holy name. And as the prayer says, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalav Nasteva, 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 Katir Anyatha. In this Kali Yuga, there is no other way, no other way, no other way for self-realization than to chant the holy names, and holy names of the Lord. So that is such a beautiful instruction that Prabhupada has taught all of us, and the Guru Parampara has taught all of us. So we should have faith in the holy name, and we can practically see after Prabhupada has left this world for the past 50 years how the movement has flourished. And the only asset, like Prabhupada used to say, the only asset was chanting. And that chanting has been the only asset for so many millions of devotees all around the world for so many years after his passing. And it continues to be, and it will continue to be for the next 10,000 years. And on that strength of the holy name, everything has been going on. Because when we chant the holy name, we are petitioning to the Lord, to the Lordships to engage us in a service. Actually, everything comes from the holy name. So we say we should have sadhana, we should have swadhyay, we should have seva. But when we have sadhana, when we chant the holy name, we are petitioning to the Lord to engage in service. So when we sincerely do that and seriously and sincerely chant, then the Lord hears, the Guru Parampara hears, and they engage us in the service. So the service also comes by the sincerity of chanting the holy name. So maybe that is the reason to Prabhupada, like Mataji the day Urmila Mataji in the last weekend when she was here, she was saying, what we should do, what we should not do. And she was saying, actually, the only thing that Prabhupada asked us to is just chant, right? That is the only vow that we take during initiation. So how wonderful is that? That's just the power of potency of the holy name. With that one thing, so many sincere disciples of Srila Prabhupada have led this movement for the last 50 plus years, and they continue to do so, and inspiring so many millions and millions more all around the world. So that is the glory of the holy name. That is holy name, which is Sri Krishna himself. He has descended here in the form of the holy name. Hari Bol. Okay, let's take any other thoughts, reflections from anybody else. Like to share anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Anandi again.
Yes.
I was thinking, like just we read in, we sung in Gita Mahatma, let there be one scripture, one God, one mantra, the holy name. Similarly, I just feel let there be one Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, whose legacy still continues, who still, in fact, who still influences all of us to chant, despite we not being in direct contact with Srila Prabhupada. But reading his books, it feel like you were sitting in the room we were getting the instructions directly via Leelamrit. I also feel that thank you so much for reading Leelamrit. Little by little, we have almost come towards completion. And anyone who is part of this movement, it is almost a necessity to read Leelamrit, to know Srila Prabhupada, and then really we can progress in our spiritual life. We need to. It's almost it's not something that we could have done on our own, but because you took us along little by little, we were able to accomplish it. I remember a couple of years ago when I just joined the movement, I had started reading it, but I had I think it's the 7-volume book, and I could only go up to halfway, and then I wasn't able to read. But because of your mercy, we are close to completion, and so nice that in our reading, Prabhupada is leaving on Ekadashi today. So just
Mm.
was mesmerizing on those points. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very grateful for you. Thank you.
All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. As a collective Sangha, that has inspired me, inspired all of us to join. And this is Prabhupada has taught us, right, the morning program. So yeah, all his glories, all his mercy that, he has taken us along. And so many, like, I believe in the power of coincidence. Again, like I said, I love that quote by Chaitanya Chan Prabhu. Coincidences are God's way of staying anonymous. And that has been my WhatsApp status for so many, I think more than a couple of years now. But we saw so many coincidences. Like you said, yeah, we started this journey with Srila Prabhupada on the day of Ekadashi, the first Ekadashi of this year, Putrada Ekadashi. And yeah, here he has, gone back home, back to Godhead on the day of Ekadashi, giving us this Saphala Ekadasi. So that this literally means that, this is the perfection, Saphala Ekadasi. So yeah, and so many coincidences. Like I still remember the day we went to Sadhu Sangha. That was the day when Prabhupada led the first chanting, and in the park, right? And yeah, so many things. When we did the Rath Yatra, Prabhupada was installing Jagannath deities and around the world. So yeah, he has given us. It was almost like, yeah, he has walked with us. He has literally held our hands, and just like a little child who holds on to the hands of his father. So Srila Prabhupada is all of our spiritual grandfather. And yeah, he has led the way. He has so lovingly, so mercifully, so kindly, taken us on this journey and inspired us. Like you said rightly, yeah, we even to understand Krishna, even to understand the holy name, a spiritual master comes down from the spiritual world out of his causeless compassion. And he is the one who teaches us. He is the one who shows us the light. Only with the light we are able to see. So what better gift we can give him than just associating with him, being with him in this journey. And yeah, so if we understand him and his mood and his instructions, then I think we can be eligible to understand the Lord and the holy name. So all glories, all glories, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else would like to share anything? Many devotees today on the call. So Amresh Prabhu, welcome back. It's been a long time. We missed your association. You joined
Hare
us
Krishna.
very
Hare Krishna,
nicely.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hopefully, we'll listen to your singing of prayers again. Thank you. Adi Guru Prabhu, anything you'd like to share? I don't know if he's busy, Mataji, or he's traveling. Okay. Anybody else would like to say anything? Seema Mataji, Shilpa Mataji, Shriya Mataji, Vishwanath Prabhu. Okay. Maybe you can think of any reflections, anything that comes to your heart, and maybe we can discuss tomorrow. All right, so let's pause here for today. Thank you, dear devotees, for your kind association. Let's end with Vaishnav Pranam prayers. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Anantakoti Vaishnavind ki jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada
Hari
Leela ki jai Hare Krishna.
Hari Hare
Have a
Krishna.
wonderful Ekadashi. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.